Cycle geometry in mathematics is not difficult as most students think. Now, this question on the board is WAEC based. Definitely, if you are writing WAEC or sitting for post-UTME exams, you always come across this type of problems. There must be a diagram, and if any diagram is to be given to you, it will be a cycle geometry problem, such as this. Please take note of this concept and the theory. In this diagram, the theory states that the angle at the center of the circle is two times greater than the angle at the circumference of the circle. That means the angle at this point is always bigger than the one at the circumference. Two times. Now, at the circumference, we have this angle here, which is unknown to us. Let's call this x, angle x degrees. The angle at the circumference was not given, but there's a parameter that could be used to determine the angle at the circumference. Now, what is the parameter? If you look at this diagram, we have a straight line from this point running through this point. One of the theorems in this topic is that the sum of angle on a straight line must give you what? 180 degrees, isn't it? That is to say, if we have a straight line, the total angle formed by this straight line must be equal to 180 degrees. That is the reason when we have a complete circle or one revolution, we say that it is 360 degrees. That is 180 plus 180. But considering one side, we can say that in a straight line, the sum of angle is 180 degrees. Let's bring the knowledge over to this. This is a straight line, and these two angles made up the straight line. If these two angles made up the straight line, we can simply add these two to obtain 180 degrees in accordance to the law or the theory. So that means x in degrees plus 117 degrees is going to give 180 degrees. Reason is that sum of angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. So x degrees plus 117 degrees must give 180 degrees. That's the first case. If you make x the subject, then x is equal to 180 degrees minus 117 degrees, and this will give you 63 degrees. 63 degrees. Since x is 63, let me put 63 here. 63 degrees. But considering this diagram on the board, this WAEC base or NECO base, we can simply say that the angle at the center is always bigger than the person at the circumference, two times of it. For instance, if the angle at the center is 100, then the circumference should be 50. Again, if this angle is 200, then the circumference should be half of it, which is 100. If this person is 500, this should be half of it, 250. If this person is 800, this should be half of it, which is what? 400. But at this point, the angle at the circumference is 63. So how do we obtain this required angle on the board? It's very simple. 2 times of this will give this. That is to say, 2 times x, or 2 times 63 degrees. 63 degrees will equal to t degrees. And we know that if you multiply 2 by 63, it's going to give 126 degrees. So 126 degrees is T degrees. And the correct answer on the board is 126 degrees, which is option C on the board. Very simple. If this video was helpful to you, or if you understood this approach, kindly click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, and turn on your notification if you haven't subscribed.